The return of the voices would end in a migraine that made my whole body throb. I could not do nothing except lie in a blacked out room, waiting for the voices to get infected by the pains in my head and clear off. That was from a victim who managed to express the way feeling slowly grasped his emotions. What happened to him was a serious breach of human rights, and no one deserves to feel it, nor do us men. We should pay as much attention to men as to women that are violated sexually. When someone says that a rape incident happened, in an instant, we've already generated our thought and think that the victims are always women and girls. See? That's the general misconception because we think that men aren't prone to sexual violence. Men are also survivors of sexual violence, and their perpetrators can be of any gender. In fact, according to U.S. Department of Justice in 1994, in between 9 to 10% of all rape survivors outside of criminal institutions are male. Furthermore, according also to U.S. Center for Disease Control, in 2005, they reported that 16% of men experience sexual abuse by the age of 18. These reports are also thought to be underestimated due to the barriers of male survivors based on the reporting process. The U.S. Department of Justice records an average of greater than 12,000 reported sexual assaults of men annually, and predicts that if unreported assaults are included, the actual number of men who are sexually assaulted in the United States each year is approximately 60,000. Most of us do not think that men could also be a victim to this kind of hated crime. Norms abandon the fact that gender should not take place when it comes to this matter. Let me tell you a story of a man named Kit. He was abducted, beaten, and raped by a stranger when he was 14 years old. The experience haunted Kit and remained silent about the assault for the next 35 years. He said, "I was afraid of what people would think. I was ashamed that a man sexually assaulted me, that I did not fight hard enough." Men and boys may experience the same effects of sexual assaults as other survivors, and they can experience the additional challenges due to the social norms about masculinity. Because of that, men tend to keep their emotions to themselves, especially to this kind of situations. We should know that all of us have feelings and emotions regardless of the gender. Brian Johns was reportedly sexually abused by a trusted older family member starting at the age of 5. The perpetrators used coercion, emotional abuse, and grooming the, to facilitate the abuse. He felt afraid to tell the family and friends about the abuse because he was worried he would get in trouble or cause others to be angry. He said, "When I was younger, I didn't want anybody to be mad at me. I didn't want my abuser to be mad at me." After his family learned of the abuse, Brian remembers feeling ashamed and responsible for the emotions of those around him. He suggests that loved ones remember that it is okay to be angry when you learn that someone who cares about you care about has been sexually abused. But it is vital to remember to put the survivor's emotion and needs first. He said also, don't get so caught up in your emotions that you forget about the person it happened to. When you put your own rage before their healing, a survivor can end up trying to manage their emotional welfare instead of focusing on their own. See, I get that men are naturally brawny than women, but it doesn't mean that we're out of harm's way when it comes to sexual violence. Each of us has a unique way of thinking and doesn't that bother you that the one sitting beside you would sow the seed of doing something inhumane? It could be of any gender, so we should pay much attention to men as to women that could possibly a victim of sexual violence. Once again, I'm Jimuel Hernandez, and this is about sexual violence.